What is happening? Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and anywhere else that's wrestling. This is the Dirty South. We've got yours truly, Ward Wrestling, Jason Fillmore, SC Wrestle, Brant Parsons, Cabra, and we are all busy going into this time of the year. Some more than others. You guys are just crazy with rankings and especially previews going into all these state tournaments. Man, I'm doing photos. How's it going?
I've got like five. I mean, we've got like 4 or 5 districts each day, but I think I'm 5 or 6 days away from being insanely crazy as Jason's been for the past week and a half, going through stuff and trying to put out content because girls' regions will pop out Sunday or Monday or whatever, and then I'll have to start doing what he's been doing. So he is the one that has been carrying the most weight uh,
Lately.
the
Yeah,
past.
it's actually it's been tough because we've gone since the beginning of the year. I went Georgia state duels, then Florida and Alabama state duels, then like basically right into what they call area or region here in Georgia. Then we had a week, and then we had sectionals and so on and so forth. There was, and we talked about this last week, but there was even a delay with some weather issues, so I wasn't able to get a bunch of stuff done last week. But to be said, it is Wednesday morning. I do have to work today, and the Georgia State tournament has started in the state over there, so I'm headed there this afternoon.
In
And
the state
yep,
of over there.
the state of over there, and
Yeah.
I've written. I mean, I honestly I've been up until 2 a.m. every single night trying to get stuff done. So I hope people appreciate it. It's a labor of love, that's for sure.
So
So
you're
That's
a
all.
late night guy. You push until 2 a.m. That's how I used to be, but my wife's a morning person, and now I'm bed by 11 or 12, but then up at 4 a.m. So I don't push to
yeah,
2 anymore. I just get up at an ungodly hour.
I think I don't know why. I think I maybe started this a little while ago when my kids were, I mean, your kids' age, more high
Mhm.
school age and that sort of thing, and I was staying up to kind of wait for them to get home or something along those
True.
lines, and then I just stuck with it. And I don't know. Plus, I'm the type of person who like, yeah, I'll get to that later, and I'll just keep sleeping.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was like that my whole life. I was always a night person. I mean, I used to do radio. I did overnights and 10 to 4 a.m. shifts. But for whatever reason, the last couple of years, I've switched. I'm doing either way. We're working hours that y'all are sleeping.
Yes. Yeah. Many.
This is the main thing I'm pointing out here. When the numbers
Right.
are wee bit littles on your clock, that's when we're getting
Yes.
our most
I
work
mean,
done.
many nights I wake up on the couch and the computer is still there on my chest or on the armrest because I'm going through looking at stuff and really I'm sometimes I'm preparing for this. Sometimes I'm just going back. I mean, what's been great about doing these shows with you guys is you guys have made me so much better as far as going to research things and kind of
And you
see.
have,
You're
man.
gotten much better at it. You're probably
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
research than us sometimes, I think, these days.
Yeah, so it's been cool to go through and I'm kind of
Dan
trying to
knows what
build
a
some
pivot table is now, and like, I mean,
yeah. I know how to do a drop down and everything.
it's
But
good. It's good
yeah,
stuff, man.
and it's been cool to go back and look at tournaments and see stuff and then this season has been good, without a child in the fight. I've been able to pick and choose where I go. I've been able to go out to more events. Plus, I've had a lot more media days, thankful, knock on wood. So I've been able to be in these rooms and see these kids and get to know them and it makes you want to follow them, right? It makes you want to see how they're doing and
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you, Dan. I mean, that's one of the things that I think, you got to give somewhere, right? I mean, so I work full time and that sort of thing, and I've got to work on that. I've got to obviously have to do my job, my regular job, but when you're doing like a lot of the stuff we're doing, and like Brant and I, as far as trying to write previews and different things along those lines or whatever. um. We sometimes like I missed sectionals last weekend in Alabama. It wasn't that far away. I could have gone to it, but I just couldn't afford to get like to
The
go
time.
because I didn't have
Mhm.
enough time.
yeah.
And because you take pictures primarily and everything, you get the opportunity to go and see them and talk to them in person and everything else. and I want to. I just don't
Oh,
like. I have to make a choice. You know what I mean?
Yep.
yeah, it's fun. I mean, and obviously I get to get some feedback on our show, and it seems like we're doing well, and people are watching, and it's funny though because I'll start going down a rabbit hole for the show and for doing research and learning about kids, and then 4 hours later I realize, oh man, somebody ordered four senior graphics. Shit, I gotta do that. Or damn, I got to edit photos from that tournament. And then I totally, I end up my ADD, I end up going down a rabbit hole because it's so interesting. And I'm like, wow, that kid beat who? That kid did what? That kid what?
Yeah.
Where? And then I'm like, wow, these are holy moly. And then I'm like, wait a second. I
Speaking
got
of which, so when I write the fans guides, I don't typically pick a winner. I don't take first, second, third, or who's going to be in the finals or anything like that. I
Yeah, you're kind of
I pick
smart with that.
I pick who I pick who I think is the favorite walking in, and I pick who the contenders are, and I pick a dark horse, a kid who's kind of a little further down, that sort of thing, and a bracket buster. Anyway, the point is that I do it because we did you guys see the what happened in Iowa with the girls
No.
and the big event, the big thing that happened? Okay.
no, tell us
All
about
right.
it.
So you have I posted on Facebook, but I have posted 10,000 things on Facebook. So if you missed it, I totally understand.
I'm not
So
on Facebook.
oh, okay. All right. So you have this three-time Iowa state champion named Katie Biscaglia, who was wrestling what was Lauren Walton? Lauren, no, not Lauren Walton. She wrestled at Clay, or she wrestled in Kentucky. Sorry, Lauren. It doesn't matter. Lauren, and and uh, and we have a tendency to assume. This is a three-time state champ. I mean, she's going for her fourth in the state of Iowa. I mean, she's ranked nationally ranked. I mean, and when I write the previews, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, she's the favorite, right? But as I write in the previews all the time, I say high school wrestling is notoriously unpredictable. And even people that you are like, you feel like it's a guarantee that they're going to win, it sometimes doesn't happen. And what happened was Biscaglia shot in and she got whipped to her back and she got pinned. And if you watch Lauren's face, she is as shocked as everybody else in the arena. And you know what? Kudos to Katie, who she picked herself up, she walked back to the center, she shook hands, and she walked off. And it was a complete shock, but she handled it the way I think I would wish I would handle it if I were in that situation. She showed a hell of a lot of professionalism. But I think that's a perfect example of nothing's guaranteed. Like, I mean, I don't care how good you are, you can get tossed to your back and the match can be over like that. You can be winning by 14 points and get tossed to your back and the match is over. So, you know what?
I,
Nothing
I
is
I saw
guaranteed.
I was watching that everywhere I go. I think I was at Colby last week, not this past, but the 2 weeks ago, and there was a girl I think was up 11-3 or something, and then boom, taken
Yeah.
down, or a boy or
Well,
somebody
and you
was
see
up
things
big.
like that. You don't typically see a three-time state champ get caught
Yeah.
like that, but it happens.
Yeah, well,
I
and
was just
this was in
today
the
I was telling a
finals, right?
coach talking about rankings. I said, why can't these kids just do what they're supposed to do?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Why
and was
can't
that
these
in?
kids just beat the kids they're supposed to? Make this easier
Yeah,
for me.
and that was in the finals, right, Jason?
Yeah, this is state finals.
Yeah. So obviously, if that girl got to the state final, she's pretty damn good too.
Oh yeah, no, I mean
But
that
you
they
don't expect, but you don't expect, obviously, you know.
yeah, I mean I think they had battled several times this year and the three-time state champ, her dad was the is the coach and he wrote this very eloquent, thing about, Katie and her response and all these sorts of things and everything else. But I mean, he basically was saying, I mean, we knew. I mean, you have to game plan for somebody who's that good, who was there.
Right.
And one of the things was stay out of a scramble position with her in that position because you never know what can happen. Well, there you go,
Well,
man.
you know what can happen now.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you do.
Well, I know Georgia, Alabama. Your neck of the woods right there is deeply into everything. And Georgia, you said the state tournament is starting today, so obviously I know
And
you want
it's
to get
not
into
in
that.
Macon this year, right? Did I read that correctly?
It is not in Macon. It is a brand new facility in Clayton County, also called well, the town is Morrow, just south of Atlanta. I'm anxious to get there, anxious to see what it looks like. I got a picture this morning of all the mats laid out. It was absolutely beautiful. They start later this afternoon with three classifications, and they will wrestle those today and tomorrow. Tomorrow night being those classifications finals, and then they will kick off Friday with 2A, 4A, 6A, and the girls. So yeah.
Lots going on there. I know we have down here, girls districts just began. We had some stuff go off on Monday, and then it's really picking up today with 4 or 5 more districts going. And
You had one on Monday, which some coaches wrote me like, "Wow, how do you do a district on Monday?" I'm like, hey, you got to get them when you fit them in. Four girls districts today, five tomorrow, four on Friday, two on Saturday, a mixture of events this weekend for boys, not many. Second straight week, just for those wondering what it's like to rank this time of year, where nearly every school competed in something this past weekend. Hillsborough does their counties this weekend. Polk does theirs. Um, you have a handful of other tournaments, but very few people wrestling on the guy side this weekend as they begin next week with
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of it
their
looks like there's a
districts.
lot of JV stuff going on, and then it looks like you got the sack and the pack and the hack and the tack and all that stuff.
But we got a lot of those sacks and packs and hacks done this past weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so for
And
people who
GMAX
aren't
were on Friday.
in Florida, basically there's they do a lot of conference tournaments, a lot of county tournaments throughout this time. I know they do that in Alabama and Georgia as well. I don't know if their conference is much, but they do definitely county events right before their postseason. And in Florida, the three-step process is districts, regions, states. I know when I started covering this, all three states, I don't know, 20 years ago or whatever. It was confusing to me because the first step in Georgia is called regions, and the second step in Florida
Yes.
is called
Yeah.
regions, and it can get a little confusing and that sort of thing. But it is a
yeah,
three-step process in Florida, three-step process in Georgia, and a two-step process in the state of Alabama.
yeah.
So
So and then
And since
Brian,
we're talking, with kudos to St. John Newman winning Monday, winning their first girls district title.
oh, that's awesome. Very
yeah,
Second
cool.
season.
kudos to them. And yeah, and I know Saturday the as far as the little youth is concerned, there's the big IOF states up at the villages, so they'll have 2 million kids up there. and but it's it's always a good tournament. I haven't been up there in a couple of years, but I'm gonna go up and check them out. So
So, so a couple things. Number one, I want everybody to know if you guys are watching this, I know Don Cash is actually working very hard at the moment, trying to work on the knockout for next year. So just like everyone else, you know, when things are the downtime is not really necessarily the downtime, whether you're running a tournament or you're doing what we do or whatever the case is. We all try to step in and get things done all the time. Um, the Just a couple of storylines I want to let everybody know about. Up in the state of Alabama, I just wrote theirs last night. Their fans guides. I'm going to post them today. Um, I'll tell you what, it's gonna be really interesting. Team race in 7A, which is their big classification with Oak Mountain and Thompson. It'll be really interesting the team race down in 1A, 4A, which is the smallest classification, with several teams who bring a lot of qualifiers. It's the same idea as Florida in that if you get a lot of qualifiers through, you have the best opportunity to put them on the podium, which means that you have the best opportunity to score the most amount of points. The difference between Alabama and Florida or Alabama and Georgia is that they seed their tournament. So just because you took second. Now, this is where I get a little bit. I get a little frustrated with because there is a kid. There are several kids who won their sectional last weekend, but they're seated behind the kid that they beat at the sectional. And the reason being is they had lost to him like three times during the course of the year. So in the head to head, they have the losing record. But for me, that was a win last weekend, man. I mean, that
Yeah.
should count more. That should be be weighted more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, a postseason win is the postseason win. You lose twice in the regular season and you win in the postseason, you're the one that advances. I mean,
It seems like that should be flipped,
I think
but
so.
Right.
but they go strictly by the criteria, and that's the way that works.
And I'm guessing right now, Jason, I saw your previews on 1A, 3A, 5A Georgia qualifiers. I'm guessing you only released 1A, 3A, 5A because that's what's taken off now, and then you'll release the rest later on this week.
Yeah, so I released 1A, 3A, 5A yesterday. Today, I will release all six of the Alabama ones, the two for girls and the four for the boys. I released actually the 6A, 7A this morning. I'll actually, when we finish this conversation, I will release 1 through 5A for the girls. And then throughout the day, we'll drop the rest of the Alabama. And then tomorrow, I will drop the last four for Georgia. One day before wrestling begins. So I wish I could drop it sooner than that, but there's a couple other things that kind of happen in different states. Number one, in Alabama, I had to wait for the seeds, which means that the brackets actually didn't get drawn until yesterday. So while I wrote a lot of it, I wasn't able to write all of it, right? And the second thing that happens in the state of Georgia that makes it a little more difficult is they have alternates. So you have until a certain point in time, if a kid got injured, to replace them and move an alternate into that spot. I could not wait for the alternates to populate the bracket. And the problem with the challenge with the alternates is this. Let's say I write the preview, right? And the kid who was in the finals last weekend got hurt, because they got slammed or whatever. Well, if they go out, everybody moves up the bracket and the alternate goes in at the bottom, which is what should happen. But when you do that,
It
well,
changes the whole
now my
bracket.
first round matchups aren't, or who was in what quarter are now all messed up, and my entire what I've written is all messed up. So it happens. There's really nothing you could do about that situation.
I think
And I'm
we
curious
get,
on the Florida side what it's going to be like because it's the first time seeding in regions. Um, when are we going to see those brackets and those kind of things? Because
and correct me if I'm
the
wrong, it's
earlier the
only
better for us who are doing an insane amount of work in a
Yeah, and I
short
don't know.
time.
I don't. They should have a deadline. I reached out and found what the deadline was, and they gave it to me as soon as they absolutely could. So that was
Yeah.
good.
and what are they seeding, Brant? 1 through 4?
District champs. That's it. So
And
they're
that's
seeding,
good. I
they're
mean,
seeding
honestly,
seeding quads.
yeah,
So
Good.
the quads will remain the same. The formulas will remain the same. If one's supposed to wrestle 3 and 2 versus 4 in that quad in that region, I'm talking about the district feed in, then it'll be the quad will move as they rank the 4 um, district
right,
champions.
right.
And have we
So
found out, are they doing that now for the state tournament also, the
They
region
are only
champs?
doing it
Or
for regions, is my understanding at this point.
it's probably, I mean, if I were to guess, it's probably a pilot to see
Yeah.
how efficient it is. Because if it takes a long time, coaches are not different than us. I mean, they want to know who they're wrestling, so that they can begin helping prepare their kids. So I know that the states who have got this down, they have their process in place for, you have, this 24 hours to debate the seed, to give us a reason why it shouldn't be seeded the way it is, so on and so forth. I don't know what the process is in Florida, but they have it down up here. So.
nice.
Um, the other thing so I talked a little bit about Alabama, those things. Two kids in the state of Alabama, Bradley Williams and John Stewart, unbelievably talented. If you are in the state of Alabama, you happen to be in Huntsville, go watch them wrestle, man. Those are some great kids. They are fantastic. Kids, they're fantastic people, but they're also just unbelievably talented on the mat. Over in the state of Georgia, we could crown the first four-time girls state champion in the state of Georgia, and that is a big deal. And I'm going to tell you why it's a big deal. In that Georgia has had some outstanding girls in the past, none better than Amani Jones, who is achieved like at the highest levels in wrestling. I mean, I'm talking about, internationally, I'm talking about collegiately and everything else. She was not a four-time state champ in the state of Georgia. Um, so we have three girls, Artemis Eaton, Elle Kaufman, and Greta Garbizovas, who could all become first four-timers ever in the state of Georgia. And then I mean, honestly, the one big takeaway that I have from the state of Georgia as I was writing it was this. I was blown away. Usually, when you have so many classes, right, you can kind of pick out and say, there's a Katie Biscaglia here, right? And she is probably going to win this thing, and it's probably not going to be close. Or there's a Ryder Wilder, or there's this, Last year there's a Dominic Bambanelli, or whatever the case was. This year, this year was actually the most difficult time I've had of trying to pick a favorite because I think that there's a lot of weights where one kid or another kid could win. There were kids who won last week. One kid who's a freshman knocked off a defending state champ 8-7 in ultimate tiebreaker, right? Or 8-7 in tiebreakers. I mean, that can be flipped. That's going to be probably your state final. It's going to be so good. So the matches are going to be super good in the state of Georgia. I bet. You were going to say, Dan? Sorry.
I don't know what I was going to say. I totally forgot.
All right. Sorry about that. I just kept rambling on.
No, I was. I don't know.
He's not the best color guy in the league for nothing.
Yeah, I don't remember what I was going to say, but yeah, definitely. And you've got Higgins trying to be a three-timer, right, or a two-timer?
Little Higgins.
Little
Little
Higgins.
Higgins, I think, she's going for her second. Her brother, who is unbelievably tough, he's going for his first.
Wow, good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that family. They always come down. They always show up to our stuff and always support Florida as well. So we're
Yeah.
we're we're cheering for them.
I love the fact that I've got DMs from kids who are telling me, "Hey, you better watch out for this person." Hey, just because I lost last week, that doesn't mean anything. I'm coming for that title. I see that you didn't pick me as your favorite, right? I look, go out and do your thing, man. I love it. I absolutely love the fact that you should believe in yourself. I don't care if you took, fourth in the region or eighth in a sectional or whatever the case is and you come in, anybody can win. Just
Yeah,
make
I
it
mean,
just
I
make it
like it.
run.
I know I was talking to a young man last week that got beat by a kid who's tough, and when I talked to him after the match, he said, "I'm close. I'm close. I can get him. I can get him close." So I'm like, "All right, I like it. I like the faith." And it's cool to see all that and hear all that. But man, yeah, we're going into the run here, and it's about to get busy.
And where are you
Yeah.
going to be at, Jason, so people can find you and tell you what they think about your picks?
Yes. So where can they find it online? Is that what you're
Find
saying?
you this weekend. Where?
Yeah, so I actually will be over in the state of Georgia. I hired somebody to go and take pictures up in the state of Alabama, in Huntsville. I can't be in two places at once. If they just separate one week, I'd be more than happy to be at both places. But Georgia, the GHSA has been super kind to me and reaching out and engaging me for a long time now. Ever since they didn't many years ago. Um, and they continually contract with me and talk to me about coming out and doing what I do. So I will be over in the state of Georgia, and yeah, I'd love it. Come up and talk to me. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, you could say, what was the one thing? They always talk bad about me, but their coverage is great.
Yes, that is one of the no, the quote was The quote was, "It was okay. Like the coverage is okay." I'm like, "Oh man, come on now, you're hurting my feelings."
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? You know what? It's all good. I don't take anything personally. I mean, except for there have been some people who send me some DMs that have gotten a little personal in their attacks, but otherwise,
Wow.
usually I'm pretty good.
I
Like
don't know if
you
I've gotten
don't.
any personal ones. Well, I mean, the one guy said we were lower than you because we're not doctors, but
Yeah. Other than
um,
that. Yeah. No, he said the doctor should know better.
Uh,
yeah.
you guys need to educate
But I
yourselves.
gotta say, kudos to the Florida wrestling community. Even if they don't always use the right words, I don't think anyone comes with true animosity and hatred toward me. And
Yeah,
I
I
listen,
agree.
and you do the same thing. I listen to everyone that writes me, and I listen to every concern. Sometimes I will agree, sometimes I will not. Um, but I tell everyone I appreciate any input and everyone's open to do it. Just just do it kind,
Yeah.
especially
Well, did
next
you see
week
my
when
post
we're
on
like
Facebook?
pride. What's that?
Did you see my post on Facebook where I posted?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. What we talked about before the cameras were rolling when I let out a few expletives. But yeah, I thought that post was fantastic. Um, because I feel, and this isn't to knock anyone, and we've talked about this, and I've talked to coaches about this, but every single person that is involved that has some skin in this game is an expert on some area. Some
Yeah,
of
they are.
coaches are an expert in their entire classification. Some coaches are an expert in the ones where they have a wrestler that's going to go to state. Some are experts in one weight class because that's where their kid wrestles, and they know more about that weight class than we do. But as a whole, if you go to a different weight class, like, yeah, I don't know anything about that, or a different classification. And what we're trying to be is as big of an expert as we can. And it's not just we don't just pick it up this weekend. We start, well, I do it year round.
Yeah, year round.
It's like constantly trying to know. And so when we're writing this, we are trying to become an expert in every single weight class. And that post of yours, which was really good, it shows that you go into every sectional in Georgia and Alabama, and you go through these and you make notes on the results. So when you're writing a preview, it shows the research you've done in every single weight class, every single bracket. And when I go through, I print out every region bracket and I have notes. If you, it's I would never show it because it's just I don't it's so messy, but I just scribble all over it and mark and I have arrows pointing and all this and it makes sense to me and that's how we put it together. But we don't just go, all right, here's the bracket. That's what we're gonna do, and then ship it off. We're looking at everything and we're trying to get it as factually based and that um like knowledgeable background on it. So we're not just making guesses. We are trying to paint the best picture we can because a lot of people read these. Some read them for inspiration. Some just want to know what's going on in a weight class that their kid is in or their a kid on their team is in, and that's kind of the main goal of it is to give the viewers uh, something to know what's going on because you always feel better when you have something to watch. I try to do that when I go to my kids' sporting events,
Hmm.
whatever sport they're doing. I like to know about the teams that they're facing and who to watch and what to look for, and that's what we're trying to do. And I thought your post kind of showed just the amount of detail and time that goes into doing it right.
Well, and and there's a caveat that goes with that, and that is, and I got an email from, or a direct message from somebody. Nobody emails anymore. Most people send me direct messages. Um, but I got a direct message from somebody because I wrote, um, blank kid, had two falls, a tech fall, and a major decision on his way to the section championship or something along those lines. And I got one that says, just so you know, it actually wasn't a major decision. They scored that wrong. It should have been a pin.
Yeah.
And it's not like they were telling me because they wanted me to go back and correct it or anything along those lines. He's like, I don't know if it matters that you know that or not, but so on and so forth. And in reality, the only thing that it really mattered for me was when I saw that that kid gave that other kid a good match. I
Yes.
immediately went to that other kid and said, "Well, how the heck did they do on the backside? Because maybe they just got a bad draw, and if they gave the defending state champion a tough match, maybe it's somebody I need to pay attention to. Well, the kid ended up getting eliminated, and it was the wrong result anyway, so it really didn't matter. But that's why sometimes, I mean, you can only go with the information you get.
Yeah,
And if the information is wrong, there's nothing I can really do about it because it can't be in every single location. And especially in Alabama and Georgia, they don't video it. So, or at least they will video the state
yeah,
tournament, but they didn't video sectionals. You guys down in Florida, man, lots of it's video, so I can go watch it and say, "Whoa, that's wrong." You know, because I went and watched tons of matches. I wanted to go watch the Colby Singletary matches, but I don't think they were videoed.
they were not.
They were not videoed, but he said that's the next step in the growth of the event is soon he wants to put video on the table. And yeah, I mean, I wish it was. First of all, I
There
want to
was
go
some
back and
great
watch
stuff.
them, but there was some great matches and yeah, you would have enjoyed watching those.
Well, you learn so much by like one of the annotations that Brant was referring to on the Facebook post was that this young girl, Paris Watts, she pinned the returning state runner up in the finals of of their sectional tournament, and I was like, "Whoa, that's pretty cool." So I went and looked at it, and a detail tells me that it was actually a 10-9 match
Yes,
when Paris got the fall. So it's not like you were winning 14-3 and you got the fall. It was a tight match and everything else. That context is super important, and being able to actually watch it is super important. So that's all I'm saying. It's all good. It's just, there's a lot of time and effort put into trying to make sure that we tell the right story.
You know,
yes.
well, as far as me is concerned, I have released the
It's always about Dan.
yeah,
It's always back to Dan.
yeah, I do. I know everybody is going to start making their run in the next couple of weeks
Yeah.
here. Girls have already started. I've got my links are already out for photography and videography coverage for the state tournament. As
Ticket
most people
punch,
know,
baby.
we have Ticket Punch
The ticket
coming.
punch
Yes,
that
I
comes before the state tournament.
yes that graphic is out. I released kind of a little sneak peek of the one that I built. And
Yep.
remember out there, other people can make your graphic, but only Ward Wrestling's graphic gets shown on the big screen being carouseled through. And I say that honestly, not with any ego or anything, but what happens is I've gotten to the state tournament
Yeah,
before,
I know. I know you have.
and a coach will come up to me and say, "Hey, do you have time to do Ticket Punch for my kids?" I'm like, "But I saw you already did Ticket Punch." Yeah, but I didn't know that they weren't going to go up there. I'm like, "Oh, well," and then so I get that. So I want to release that. Yes, if you want your name in lights, I can make that happen. Also, the links are out this year. I'm trying
He's a
to
guy
up.
that can make things happen.
Yes, I'm trying to up the
He's
coverage
our
for
own
our
red.
state. Yes, I'm trying to up the coverage for the state tournament this year. Last year, I had the last 2 years, I had a photographer assigned to each classification. Last year, I only had two videographers. This year, I am assigning a photographer and a videographer to each classification. So we will have full coverage on each classification. So there will be a photographer and a videographer there, um, which is great. I've released links on coverage, I've released pricing. So get in where you can get in.
Yeah, man, it's so good. I want to make sure that everybody understands this. I mean, look, let's put this in perspective. 20 years ago, you got a blurb in the newspaper, and if Brant was there, you got a coverage of the newspaper. But before Brant was there, and not to say anything bad about anybody else, but it wasn't a priority for a lot of newspapers, and there wasn't a great deal of coverage, right? There
Well,
weren't
what I
people.
remember when I first started going, just to interrupt you real quick,
Yeah,
and this is my 22nd state tournament in a row that I'm going to this year. Uh, I was there like every minute of the entire tournament. The writers for newspapers showed up at 4 o'clock on Saturday.
sure they did.
And that's the first time some of them, and nowadays we don't even have newspapers, and it's a lot smaller anyway. But like that was the first time some of them thought about wrestling all year, which is because they were carrying, they had been doing
Hey,
basketball and all that other stuff. Um, but that was it. Like they showed up for the finals. They tried to figure out who was who, and that was your coverage if you even got that.
well, and honestly, a photographer would show up and they would take the one great picture of some kid jumping into a coach's arms or whatever the case was, and that would be the picture, and there wouldn't be a whole lot of other pictures from
They'd
the
be there for an
event.
hour and they'd have 6 pictures on the online gallery, and that was it.
That's right. And today that world is different, right? And Dan, you do a great job of providing an opportunity for people to capture images. If a kid goes 0 and 2, or I mean, the only thing I would tell the kids and their parents, make sure you stay on the mat long enough for the person to get a picture of you. Um, but
Right.
otherwise, I would say, the amount of pictures, the amount of coverage, the amount of video, it has ramped up with with social media becoming so big and everything else. And, you know, look, I just think it's great that we're able to provide coverage all over the place as much as possible because that was not the case a long time ago.
No,
It
I
wasn't
mean,
even
even the first,
that wasn't the case not that long ago.
this will be my sixth state tournament, um, which is almost as many as Brant. But I, but I remember up until 3 years ago, I didn't see. I mean, you were there taking pictures. Brant was there, and there was some, like the Lakeland Times and Heather Basowski with the Tampa magazine that she shoots for, and there was a
Mhm.
couple of those. But other than that, there was no coverage. The contracted company for the FHSAA would not even show up for wrestling because
That's true.
they're they didn't they got the contract just so they can cover cheer and football and basketball and the big sports, right?
Right.
And so over the last few years, being able to grow the coverage for what it is pretty cool. And I think also, you see now schools bringing kids that are in the photography classes at the schools, and
And
they're
I think
bringing
that's great.
kids with
I mean,
them.
that's
Yep.
such a great thing.
And so you're seeing it grow, and this year I'm looking forward to seeing the product because not only will my videographers be covering the sales that happen and their athletes that they're paid to cover. We have a shot sheet from FHSAA that requires to do some other stuff so that FHSAA can cover it and put some stuff out there. And then we also do recap videos, recaps each day and try and get all that out there. So it'll be fun. I still have other visions for it, but little by little, right?
He does. We've had to temper some of his ideas,
Yes,
just so you
yes.
guys know.
Yes. So, it would be cool to have, the interview sessions and all that other stuff, right? Like they do at some of the national tournaments where they're required to come sit with you
Well,
and
one of the
speak.
things I noticed that was super cool, um, was that in when I saw the Iowa thing, right, with the girl who with the upset, who got the upset, is right after she won and she walked over, she goes over and takes a Sharpie and signs her name on the winner's line of the bracket that she then gets to walk off with.
Wow.
That's cool.
That
Yeah,
is so awesome. I
there's
love
some
that.
cool stuff. I've got some ideas. I've seen some stuff done with the cameras and some autographing, and you see it happen with the camera. And there's some cool stuff like that that could go down. But yeah, you know, that is awesome. And I know Jason, we're going to miss him this year at our state tournament because he's got a job. But
Yeah, I am so disappointed because yeah, it doesn't matter. I didn't tell you guys this, but I actually had got scheduled for another thing on Wednesday of that week as well. So now I'm booked on Wednesday and Friday.
Bookends.
Yeah. So it's a busy time for
And
my
my
job
assistant
job.
won't be there until Saturday because she's got a lacrosse game on Friday night at Jensen Beach or something like that.
She enjoy that sport. I mean, I think I would always enjoy a sport where I could run around and hit somebody with a stick.
Well, you can't hit them in the girl. It's girls lacrosse a little different than boys lacrosse, a little less
Physical?
physical.
physical.
But she's
What?
enjoying it. She loves it, and
You can't hit somebody?
not on, that's the boy side.
Yeah.
No checking on the girl side.
That's what happened to Zachary. He did it in the fall, and I'm like, "Why'd you choose that sport?" He goes, "Because I can hit people.
Yeah.
It gives
Now
me
I gotta tell you,
permission
when
to
I'm
hit
watching
people."
it, I'm like, I don't know how I wouldn't have how many times I wish they would hit somebody. But
Yeah, I mean, I look,
no,
she
not
had
on,
a
on the
we
girl
had a
side. No,
great
it's
time. We had a
it's
great
honestly not
time at
bad.
her media day, and she seemed like she was enjoying herself. She had a lot of friends, and
Yep.
uh, it was a really good time.
Very
So
cool.
I appreciate the referral, Brant. That was
Oh, you're
awesome. So
very welcome.
Yeah, you don't
hopefully,
just shoot. You don't just shoot wrestling. I've seen you
yeah,
do
I
flag
saw flag
football.
football this past week or
Yeah.
two.
yeah. So
Some football kids.
last week I had last week's lacrosse flag football. This week, yesterday I had flag football. Friday I have girls softball. The following Monday I have girls softball. The following Friday I've got boys volleyball. So
Boys
it
have
makes
volleyball?
Yeah, they have for a
yep.
long time. For
Oh,
as long as I've been in the business, there's been boys in FHSA.
So
wow.
Spring
it
sport. Spring
says
sport.
Ward Wrestling because wrestling made me, but now it's Ward
Yeah.
not
Just so
just
everybody
wrestling.
Ward
knows,
everything.
I don't pay attention to any other sport. I have no idea. I didn't even know who was playing in the Super Bowl. Like I have no clue who's doing anything, but
You did know that Bad Bunny was playing.
I did know Bad Bunny was playing. I mean,
Bad Bunny
how could you
killed it.
miss the fact that I mean that's been everywhere.
Can we curse? Bad Bunny fucking killed it.
Yeah, yeah, I
He
thought he did
did.
a good
Yes.
job. I was happy.
Uh-oh,
Obviously,
we gotta be careful going politics here now. Come on.
no, but I
Yeah,
have
but no,
Puerto
it's
Rican.
it's it's it's
With
Puerto
my
Rican.
family
Yeah.
being Puerto Rican, my kids are Puerto Rican culture, and
Uh
there was some concerns about how he would present himself because he's done some things where he's presented himself a little, but he came out and he really represented the culture, and it was really cool to see how he showed, things of childhood Puerto Rico that I know that my in-laws and my wife and people, and we've been over there and we've seen. So it was kind
that's
of cool
cool.
to see that, as far as like the piraguas and the tacos and the dominoes and it was super cool to watch that. And it was
It's like
How
really
shocked
neat.
speaking
were you when
another
you
language,
found
man.
out
I
the
don't
sugar cane were people? Like those are all
Yes.
people in
I
costumes.
was Bush number 163.
Yes. The next day we were crazy because even that night, Cynthia and I were like, man, how did they get that thing set up so quickly and broken down so quickly? And then we learned obviously that the Bushes were humans.
Yes.
So they ran out and set up
It's
and
just
yes. Yes.
One of the bushes posted on Strava.
Yeah.
He walked 0.57 miles during the halftime show, walking to his different spots.
of
Yes.
course.
So
Of course.
I thought it was good. So I did not have any complaint about that. And it ended up getting some high remarks. But yeah, I think if the football
Game
didn't suck
sucked
so much, yeah, if the football didn't suck so much, that'd
so
be
bad.
it. But man,
I say
so
I know what's going on in sports only because that's what I have on while I work. So
Mm,
and football's great for while you work because it's not you don't have to watch it
yeah, you can
and you
just
can kind of
listen.
listen for when
that's
something
true.
happens or play and then you get a minute between plays. So football is actually pretty easy to work with. It's I get caught up in hockey and my soccer team, and then fine. I'm like sitting watching it for 10 minutes, like, oh wait, I gotta get back to work. But
Well,
Who's
football is
speaking
who's your
great.
of
hockey team?
My hockey team are the Florida Panthers, and my football club is Arsenal.
Okay.
and speaking of hockey, shout out to the girls Olympic team putting it on Canada yesterday, five
Again,
nothing.
eight straight wins against Canada, I think.
Yep.
No clue.
And yesterday, I was so devastated. Well, I had the highs of the men winning a sprint cross country skiing medal for the first time in 100 years, and they finished second between two Norwegians. I'm honorary Norwegian because two of my best friends live there. And then the curling match, and in the U.S. comes up one short to Sweden. They earned silver.
It would be
And
I was
one
on the edge of my
stone.
seat watching curling for the
yes,
past
it's
2 days.
unbelievable, isn't it?
Like
I
that,
have
and
no
like
idea.
I'm
I have
fist
no
pumping. I'm tapping my
absolute clue.
yes. I
I
am
have no
cheering.
clue. They're like, what? That's like a this and that and the other thing.
Oh,
And I'm
I
like,
know
what the hell does it
strategy
all
now. I'm like,
mean?
oh, if they curl that around the front and get that into the house, this could be two.
This is like shuffleboard on ice, right?
Yes, it's incredible.
Yes, yes, but they're like swing, 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 cling, 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 cling. Oh,
Yes,
that's
because
a
they
point.
sweep the
I'm
ice. The
like,
ice has pebbles on it. Like I don't know exactly how they do the ice, but it's not like a completely smooth surface. And so when you brush, it moves the pebbles out of the way and also heats up the ice. So if you need it to go faster, you sweep more. If you're trying to make it curl more, then you sweep that way. And then if you hit the other team's stone, then you try to sweep so that way it goes out of the house of the circles.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I was
But then
edge of the
like
seat.
things are happening and they're like, that's a point. I'm like, okay. I don't know how it was a point, but I'm glad it was a point for my team that I'm rooting for, right? So I'm like, okay, go America. But yeah, the team that won, the Swiss or something, I guess it was
Sweden, Swedish
the
brother
first
sister
brother and
team.
sister
Yeah.
team to win a thing. Zachary
And
watches
watch me
it.
pull this around. They lost in the preliminaries 9-0, which is impossible to do in curling because you every other round you get a hammer, which is you're the last one to go. So in theory, you should be able to get 1 point at least 4 times in a match. And they came back and won the gold medal. So you're never completely out of it. So all the talk that Jason was saying, hey, even though you lost to this guy last week or this girl beat you in week 8, you're never over. And if you're at the dance, you have a chance. And that's what Sweden did.
If you're
If
at
you're
the
in the dance,
dance,
you
you
have a
have a
chance.
chance. Yo, we are going to put that out in
That's got to
lights.
be a t-shirt. Hold on. Let me
Yes.
write this down.
Yes.
Brand, you better
Yes.
copy that down because Dan will have that made
Yeah,
like this
you'll
afternoon.
have a big hat that has it on
Boom.
it.
Yes. That's like, yes, that is fantastic. Um, yeah, the Olympics is cool, out and running, and it's fun. I'm looking forward to, I always love when the Olympics are here because it's always cool to watch. And those are good to watch while you're working on the couch
Yes, they
because
are.
you can all of a
Everything
sudden
is
you
good to
hear,
watch right now because that's all I'm doing is working.
Yeah.
yes, I
Although
will
I
be.
wasn't watching anything, I have been zoned in
Oh, I
trying to
play
get this
music
done
really
because I can't
loud.
really watch anything when I write. When I
No,
do
not when
the
I'm
when I
writing.
do my
This is when I'm doing
annotations,
research and making notes
when
and
I'm
doing
doing
rankings.
research, I can totally watch stuff.
But
Yeah.
when it's writing time, it's music and I get to go to work.
Yeah.
Well, Jason, have fun. Be safe in Georgia. Georgia fans, make sure you say something to them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Keep it nice.
That's
And
right.
make sure I want if any Georgia fans are listening to this, please address him as Dr. Fulmore when you see him.
Doctor, Doctor, Doctor S.E.
Everybody needs
Russell.
to understand the reference was they were saying something good about me and not so good about those two jokers. So now they give me grief. Okay.
Dr. S.E.
Yes,
Russell. Make sure you dress him
yes. And
appropriately.
that
Best of
parent
luck to
you
every
may
wrestler.
yeah, that parent you may see this weekend.
I hope I do. I hope I do. Yeah, best of luck to everyone and best of luck to the girls down in Florida. Step one,
Yep.
do your thing. Get through
Get to the
districts.
dance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
If you're in the
Next,
dance, you have a chance, baby.
if you're in the dance, you have a chance. Next show, I expect you to come with a stethoscope around your.
Different kind of doctor, but it's all good. Yes. All
And
right, guys, you
please
take care.
send me a new book.
I will.
Oh,
See
all
ya.
right. Let me hit stop. I always forget how to do